Atomic Habits. A 1% improvement every day makes you 37 times better in a year. Written by James Clear, published by Audiobook Zone. Introduction: The hidden force controlling your life. What if I told you that your dreams don't matter? That your goals, no matter how big, are completely useless? Sounds crazy, right? But here's the brutal truth: you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your habits. Right now, your daily routines, whether good or bad, are silently shaping your future. Scrolling through your phone for hours. Skipping workouts. Telling yourself, "I'll start tomorrow." These small choices seem harmless, but over time, they determine your success or failure. James Clear learned this the hard way. As a teenager, he suffered a horrific baseball accident that shattered his skull and nearly ended his future. His recovery wasn't fueled by motivation or willpower. Instead, he rebuilt his life through tiny, consistent habits. In Atomic Habits, Clear reveals the science behind why small changes lead to massive transformation. He explains how a 1% improvement every day can make you 37 times better in a year. Think about that, just tiny, effortless improvements stacking up into something life-changing. The fundamentals: why tiny changes make a big difference. What if I told you success isn't about big goals, but tiny, everyday habits? James Clear reveals a shocking truth: small changes compound over time, shaping your life more than you think. The trick isn't grand gestures, it's consistent, tiny actions. The surprising power of Atomic Habits. Habits are like money in the bank. One small habit doesn't make a difference, but repeated over time, they shape your future. Clear uses the story of British cycling. By focusing on tiny improvements, they went from losers to Olympic champions. Small wins add up. How your habits shape your identity. Every action you take is a vote for the person you wish to become. Instead of setting goals, Clear urges us to focus on identity-based habits. Want to be fit? Become the person who works out daily. Want to write? Be the person who writes every day. Who you are is defined by what you repeatedly do. How to build better habits in 4 simple steps. Clear breaks it down into 4 steps: cue, craving, response, and reward. Make habits obvious, attractive, easy, and satisfying. Want to read more? Keep books in sight. Want to stop scrolling? Hide your phone. Design your environment for success. Tiny habits are the key to massive transformation. The question is, are yours working for you, or against you? Introduction: The hidden force controlling your life. What if I told you that your dreams don't matter? That your goals, no matter how big, are completely useless? Sounds crazy, right? But here's the brutal truth: you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your habits. Right now, your daily routines, whether good or bad, are silently shaping your future. Scrolling through your phone for hours. Skipping workouts. Telling yourself, "I'll start tomorrow." These small choices seem harmless, but over time, they determine your success or failure. James Clear learned this the hard way. As a teenager, he suffered a horrific baseball accident that shattered his skull and nearly ended his future. His recovery wasn't fueled by motivation or willpower. Instead, he rebuilt his life through tiny, consistent habits. In Atomic Habits, Clear reveals the science behind why small changes lead to massive transformation. He explains how a 1% improvement every day can make you 37 times better in a year. Think about that, just tiny, effortless improvements stacking up into something life-changing. The first law: make it obvious. You've probably heard people say, "I just need more motivation." But what if motivation isn't the problem? James Clear reveals that the real key to habit change is environment, not willpower. In Atomic Habits, he argues that you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. The man who didn't look right. Clear shares a fascinating story of a man who walked into a clinic and said, "I don't feel well, I'm just not right." After examining him, the doctor immediately diagnosed him with a life-threatening condition. The key was simple: the man didn't look right. It's a perfect example of how habits, both good and bad, are often visible in our behavior, but we don't always notice until something goes wrong. Our daily choices show up in our lives long before we realize it. The trick is to make the cues of good habits obvious. The best way to start a new habit. When you want to start a new habit, don't rely on willpower. Clear suggests a powerful method: habit stacking. This is when you pair a new habit with an existing one. For example, after you brush your teeth, you could immediately do 5 push-ups. The best way to start a new habit is by tying it to a current one, Clear says. The new habit feels effortless because it's connected to something familiar. Motivation is overrated, environment often matters more. Clear emphasizes that motivation is fleeting. We can't rely on it for long-term change. Instead, we must design our environment to make good habits obvious. Want to eat healthier? Keep fruits visible on your counter. Want to read more? Place books in your line of sight. Environment sets the stage for success, no motivation required. The secret to self-control. Self-control is overrated. Clear explains that it's not about forcing yourself to resist temptation, but about removing the temptation altogether. If you want to stop watching TV, unplug the cable. If you want to stop eating junk food, don't buy it in the first place. The best way to avoid temptation is to eliminate it, he says. When you make bad habits invisible and good habits obvious, they become effortless. Small, consistent actions lead to massive change. The secret is in making your cues obvious, so your habits almost run on autopilot. The environment you create will shape the actions you take every day. The second law: make it attractive. Imagine this: you're at a party, and everyone is dancing, laughing, and having a great time. Then, someone offers you a drink, your favorite one. Instantly, you're drawn to it. That's the power of attraction. James Clear explains that habits are more likely to stick when they're attractive, and we are naturally drawn to things that make us feel good. How to make a habit irresistible. Clear dives into the concept of temptation bundling, which is a powerful strategy to make a habit irresistible. He suggests pairing an activity you love with one you need to do. Want to work out? Listen to your favorite podcast or music only while exercising. If you want to make a habit irresistible, pair it with something you already enjoy, he advises. This way, your brain associates the new habit with instant rewards, making it much harder to resist. The role of family and friends in shaping your habits. You might not realize it, but your environment, especially the people in it, has a huge impact on your habits. Clear explains that our habits are shaped not only by our own actions but also by the people around us. You tend to become the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If your friends are health-conscious and active, you'll naturally pick up those habits. On the flip side, if you're surrounded by people who indulge in unhealthy behaviors, those habits become easier to adopt too. The key is to surround yourself with people who embody the habits you want to develop. How to find and fix the causes of your bad habits. Clear offers a valuable strategy: instead of focusing solely on breaking bad habits, focus on understanding their underlying causes. Why do you procrastinate? Why do you overeat? Bad habits often arise from emotional triggers or unmet needs. By pinpointing the root cause, you can address it directly. For example, if stress leads you to binge-watch TV, you could replace it with a healthier way of managing stress, like exercise or meditation. By fixing the cause, you break the cycle of bad habits. In short, the key to making habits irresistible lies in combining what you need to do with something you love, changing your environment, and addressing the root causes of your bad habits. When habits are attractive, they become hard to resist. The third law: make it easy. Imagine standing at the foot of a mountain. The climb feels overwhelming, but if you break it down into smaller steps, the journey becomes more manageable. James Clear emphasizes that the key to building lasting habits is to make them easy, not to push yourself to the limit but to make progress consistently, step by step. Walk slowly, but never backward. Clear tells the story of a runner who improved his performance not by pushing harder but by focusing on small, consistent actions. He didn't need to rush, just to keep moving forward, no matter how slow. The goal isn't to make giant leaps, it's to make steady progress. The idea is simple: take small actions consistently, even if they feel like slow progress. Consistency compounds, and slow improvement leads to remarkable results. The law of least effort. Humans naturally seek the easiest route to accomplish something. Clear explains that our brains are wired to minimize effort. To make habits stick, they need to be easy. The more effortless a habit is, the more likely it is to become a part of your life. For example, if you want to start reading, don't aim for an hour right away. Instead, set a goal of reading just a few pages a day. By starting small, the habit will feel so simple that it becomes impossible to resist. How to stop procrastinating by using the 2-minute rule. Procrastination is a major roadblock, but Clear offers an effective solution: the 2-minute rule. Instead of thinking about the entire task, just focus on the first 2 minutes. Want to exercise? Put on your workout clothes. Want to read? Open the book and read one sentence. The first 2 minutes are the hardest, but once you get started, momentum takes over. This rule tricks your brain into starting, and once the habit is in motion, it's easier to continue. How to make good habits inevitable and bad habits impossible. Clear stresses the importance of designing your environment to make good habits easy and bad habits hard. If you want to eat healthier, place fruits in visible spots and hide unhealthy snacks. Environment design is the secret to automating your habits. By shaping your environment to support your goals, good habits become inevitable, and bad ones are eliminated without effort. In summary, making habits easy is the secret to long-term success. Whether it's by taking small steps, removing friction, or designing your environment, the simpler you make it, the more likely you are to succeed. The key to lasting habits is reducing the effort required to start and making the process as effortless as possible. The fourth law: make it satisfying. Picture this: you've just completed a difficult task, and instead of feeling drained, you feel an undeniable sense of satisfaction, like you've accomplished something meaningful. James Clear argues that satisfaction is the key to making habits stick. Without a sense of reward, habits become much harder to maintain. What is immediately rewarded is repeated, Clear emphasizes. When habits bring immediate pleasure, they naturally become more ingrained in your life. The cardinal rule of behavior change. Clear introduces the cardinal rule of behavior change: what is immediately rewarded is repeated, and what is immediately punished is avoided. This is the driving force behind most of our actions. Our brains are wired to seek rewards and avoid pain. For instance, after a workout, you might feel great, an immediate reward for your effort. The more satisfying the reward, the more likely it is you'll repeat the behavior. By ensuring that habits come with instant gratification, you set yourself up for success. How to stick with good habits every day. To make habits stick, Clear suggests creating a reward loop. After completing a habit, reward yourself immediately. Whether it's taking a break, enjoying a treat, or simply acknowledging your progress, the key is to make the reward feel immediate. Over time, your brain will begin to associate this habit with positive emotions, reinforcing the behavior. The more satisfying a habit, the more you'll want to repeat it. How an accountability partner can change everything. Clear shares the story of a man who lost 100 pounds, attributing his success to having an accountability partner. Having someone to check in with keeps you motivated and reinforces the positive feelings associated with progress. Accountability makes satisfaction feel even more tangible, Clear says. When someone else sees your progress, the satisfaction isn't just from the habit itself but from external validation as well. In conclusion, making habits satisfying is essential for long-term success. By adding rewards, building a reward loop, and involving an accountability partner, you enhance the satisfaction of good habits. The more rewarding the habit feels, the more likely you'll stick to it. Advanced tactics: how to go from being merely good to truly great. Imagine an athlete who has trained for years, running at top speed but still struggling to break their personal record. What separates the great from the merely good? In Atomic Habits, James Clear introduces advanced tactics that push individuals beyond mediocrity toward mastery. He emphasizes that greatness is not the result of a single breakthrough moment but the compound effect of small, daily improvements. Success is the product of daily habits, not once-in-a-lifetime transformations, he says. This means that growth isn't about intensity but consistency, pushing beyond your current limits while maintaining discipline over time. The truth about talent: when genes matter and when they don't. Many people believe natural talent is the key to success, but Clear challenges this notion. While genetics may give an initial advantage, they are far less important than habits, environment, and persistence. Hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard. This principle shows that talent alone isn't enough. Success comes to those who develop the right habits and refine their skills over time. Whether in sports, business, or creativity, those who focus on consistent effort and learning from failure ultimately surpass those who rely only on natural ability. The Goldilocks rule: how to stay motivated in life and work. Motivation is fleeting, so how do high achievers stay consistently driven? Clear introduces the Goldilocks rule, which states that humans are most engaged when facing challenges that are neither too easy nor too difficult. If a task is too easy, we become bored; if it's too hard, we feel overwhelmed and quit. The key is to operate in the just right zone, where the challenge stretches us without breaking us. This principle explains why setting incremental, achievable goals keeps motivation high, allowing long-term growth without burnout. The downside of creating good habits. While good habits are essential for progress, they can also lead to stagnation if we stop challenging ourselves. Clear warns that once a habit becomes automatic, we risk operating on autopilot, which prevents further growth. To keep improving, we must embrace discomfort, adjust our routines, and seek new challenges. Without this, even the best habits can become limiting rather than empowering. Conclusion of Atomic Habits by James Clear. In Atomic Habits, James Clear reveals the power of small, consistent actions to transform your life. He argues that habits, no matter how tiny, compound over time to create remarkable changes. By breaking down the process of habit formation into 4 simple laws: make it obvious, make it attractive, make it easy, and make it satisfying, Clear provides a clear framework for building habits that stick and reshaping behaviors for success. Clear also emphasizes the importance of identity in habit formation. Your habits are a reflection of who you believe you are, and by changing your habits, you can reshape your identity. Whether it's about mastering the art of making habits effortless, finding the right motivation, or dealing with setbacks, Atomic Habits equips you with practical strategies to build a life of improvement. Ultimately, the key to success is in small, daily actions. Clear's book proves that you don't need drastic changes or monumental willpower to succeed. By focusing on small habits and creating systems that work with your environment, anyone can achieve greatness. The book leaves us with this profound truth: you do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. If you can master your habits, you can truly transform your life, one small step at a time.